Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers out there across the country, around the world. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. And I want to just do a few updates. I probably won't be on very long. Wanted to keep you all updated with what's going on in my life, in my saga, in my never-ending bunny trail. For a very short period of time, I called it the 100 bunny trail story, and then I went to 1,000 bunny trail story, and then I realized that ain't nearly enough. To try to tell the whole story, it takes about a never-ending bunny trail saga of bunny trail stories. So that's where I'm at. Things are happening right now as I speak that are going on. Rock is still not here. He broke down in Syracuse, Nebraska. Please pray for him. Probably next 2 or 3 days he should be here. Timothy has been here for he was here about 4 days a couple of weeks ago, and he came back very quickly because he's very excited about what's going on here, and he has been here for seems like about 2 weeks. I don't know, but he has to go back to resupply and different things, check on his belongings at his home. So it's been very exciting. I wanted to just one thing, that a very significant event in my life, and I wish I knew the date of it, because looking back now, I'd like to know the date, what year it was. But I'm guessing that about 1980, this would have been about the same time that I went to the Sportsman's Expo in Denver, Colorado, and fell in love with teepees. I got the Teepee Bible by Reginald and Gladys Laubin, which is like the Bible on the book on how to build teepees, how to make teepees, how to use teepees, how to live in teepees year-round. And I also fell in love with the cylinder stove from Cedar City, Utah. So as the years went by, I got a family inheritance from an aunt and uncle that passed away, and I bought 2 teepees with that money, a 14-foot and a 17-foot. I'm not going to go into the whole story how it came about there, 14 to 17. I ordered a 12 and a 16, but the lady loved teepees. Apache woman up in Idaho, of all places. Apache woman building Cheyenne teepees. And she had to build a wall tent. She said the whole time she talked to the tent, "You're not a tent, you're a teepee, you're a teepee, you're a teepee." She'd talk to the canvas and talk to the tent, basically give her Native American blessing to it, keep people alive. If there's a high wind, keep them alive. Keep them warm in sub-zero temperatures. Like, pretend you're a teepee wall tent. So anyway, I had 2 teepees made, and then come 99, Y2K, 1998, I still wanted stoves for my teepees, because my thing was, if I had to go live out in the wilderness to stay free, to get out of Babylon, I was going to do that. I was committed to that idea. And if I was going to do that with my family, I wanted to have everyone be in as good a comfort as possible, as good a condition as possible. So I wanted to have tents and teepees. People have homes, but they have one tent for camping. Why don't you have, if you have a 3-bedroom home, why don't you have 4 or 5 bedrooms? One for the kitchen, one for the bathroom, one for the master bedroom, one for the children's bedroom, one for the, bunk beds or whatever, one for the basement, root cellar, storage cellar. Why not have multiple teepees and tents? So that was my idea, and I wanted stoves for the 2 teepees I had, and I had a couple, junky stoves, a Korean War potbelly stove, which is what we heated with in Kansas for 2 years, or 1 year, the first year. And anyway, my point is that I wanted stoves. So in 1998, when we found out about Y2K, I called Cedar City, Utah, Chad Evans, I believe is his last name, but Chad, and I said, I want to become a dealer. What does that take? 5 stoves and ovens and whatever. So I put together an order for 5 stoves, and we became a dealer. By the end of the year, we sold more than anybody else except for Cabela's catalog, and they only beat us by one single solitary sale. One sale. One. So that's all bunny trail. Sorry about that. That's just the way my life is. I'm trying to get something out here. So my point is that we talked today, Timothy and I, about putting up a couple more tents, at least one more tent, in case the rain comes, and if Rock gets here and he doesn't have a storage plan, then he has something to put some stuff in to keep it out of the weather, a place to put things out of the weather. People, you need to have some storage understanding and capability, how much storage you need to get that storage lined up, in town, whatever. that's just something you got to do. Prevent a lot of driving around and wasted time. And I can't provide storage for everybody. I can't provide storage for Rock. I can't provide storage for Timothy. I mean, we're working on something for him, and for Rock, we're going to put up a tent for now. Anyway, so Timothy's going to resupply. Probably going to have to leave in the next couple, 3 days. Might miss Rock, which would really suck because that's the reason he came here. And he has been just a godsend. I mean, I've said before on a video that he's like the other half of my brain. And that's no lie. We're like, you know, a lot of ways we're very much alike, and a lot of we're completely opposites. We just fine. We're like an odd couple, you know. He's very meticulous, very exact, very precise, very organized, very, you know, and I'm the total opposite of that. I'm the Felix, and who's the other guy? The odd couple. Walter Matthau was the slob, and the other guy was the really pristine, clean guy, the organized guy. Anyway, I'm not saying we're totally like that, but I told him, I said, before he came out, we talked for about an hour and a half, and I said, you know, the reason I need help is because I said, I just, you know, brace yourself. I said, I'm not normal. And he goes, if you've been talking to me for an hour and a half and you haven't hung up on me or run screaming in the other direction, you're not normal. I know you're not normal. I said, well, okay. I've been being a bachelor for 7 years, okay? I've been on my own, barely getting by, barely surviving. I had a heart attack, a couple strokes, you know. My place is a mess. The trailer's a mess. He goes, I can handle that. So he did. He's been just a trooper, an absolute trooper. Not a stormtrooper, just a trooper. So it's been awesome. We've had a wonderful time, good time of fellowship and agreement and agreeing on things and praying about things. So, and that's all background for tents, storage. Oh, the wall builders. Okay, sorry. Bunny Trail. Back to the thing about Denver and wall builders. David Barton with Wall Builders spoke in Denver about 1980. I'm guessing. This is my best guess. My initial instinct was 77-ish, but I got married in 77, and I don't remember if I was married or not. But it wasn't to a few years into my marriage when I finally figured out what my problem was. I told my wife that I'm weird, I'm strange, I'm different, I'm completely different than anybody you've ever met. Yeah, whatever. No, didn't. And I asked her a few years back, I said, do you remember that conversation? Nope, don't remember a word of it. Well, look where we've ended up, you know. So she paid no attention to me at that time. She never did pay any attention to me over the years. We did, yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize, Elaine. But, you know, yeah, we had some good times. We had some awesome, the Y2K in 1999, phenomenal time. That was all on her, you know. She started the whole thing. She went to a homeschool convention, and her and Yvonne came back all jazzed about Y2K, and I was like, who cares about Y2K? I don't care. Then I thought about it for 5 minutes. Maybe I slept on it that night, and I was like, wait a minute here, preparedness. I believe in preparedness. I've been doing that since 1980, so it's been 20 years I've been doing preparedness. Well, 18 years I've been doing preparedness, and since 1980 to 1998. I thought, let's get on this. Let's get on the bandwagon. So we did. We got on the bandwagon, became a dealer for the Stows, became a dealer for British Berkfeld, and you know, started really hammering it through the whole year. We spent the entire year just swamped with business, and had a really good relationship with about 2,000 people around the country, and a lot of repeat customers. Became very good friends with them. So I don't know what year it was, but about 1977, 1980, somewhere in there, 79, 80. I heard David Barton speak at University Hills, probably Baptist, I don't remember, University Hills Church, South University, Denver, very ritzy, nice church, you know. And he spoke on his ministry called Wall Builders. And it's called Wall Builders because they're building the walls around Jerusalem, right? It's based on the whole Nehemiah and Ezra scenario. Okay, well, that's very telling for me because that's what I've been doing. Get this, the word diamond in Hebrew, look it up, Shamir, Shawmir, 6086 is the number, I'm pretty sure. 6086. It's talking about building a wall. So that and a circle, being circumspect, being watching in a circle, being a watchman. The word watchman is repeated about 100 times, well, I don't know, a bunch of times. I haven't even done a great in-depth study on it, but the word diamond in Hebrew is what I'm doing. It's what I am. It has my family motto. It has my, you know, coat of arms. It has everything in there. that I do, I'm breathing. My DNA, my blood is that word, Hebrew word. My very bloodline from Jeremiah. Anyway, I'm saying all that to say that some tour about that time, I heard David Barton speak, and he made the comment, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. He said, God did not let me begin my ministry until I found my Ezra, until he brought me my Ezra. He didn't say who the Ezra was. It was like because Ezra is like the prayer warrior, the temple, the priest in the temple, the scholar, the strategist, the higher level, the commanding officers that was Ezra. Okay, Nehemiah was a general. He said, David Barton was saying, I'm Nehemiah, I'm building a wall, but I needed Ezra to back me up. I needed the information, I needed the knowledge, I needed the scholar, I needed the undergirding of prayer, I needed the all the things attended to that. And when he said that, I said, oh, that's what I need. I need my Ezra. Because I knew at the time that I believed that I was destined for something great. I knew that something great was going to happen. I didn't know what. I had no clue about anything that was going to happen on down the road. I didn't know anything about the Ozark Plateau. I didn't know anything about Missouri. I didn't know anything about anything. I was a pretty ignorant little person, little guy. But I knew that there was greatness ahead. I had something to do, a job to do, a big work to do. And I said to myself, oh, that's what I need. I need my Ezra. And I was like, wait a minute. No, I am Ezra. I need Nehemiah. So from about, let's say 1980, let's plug it in there. From 1980, about the same year that I found the teepees and the cylinder stove, I knew that I needed Ezra. My character Ezra needed Nehemiah to build this wall. And I've been waiting ever since, praying, asking. I mean, literally asking, will you be my Nehemiah? Will you be my Tirshatha? Nehemiah calls himself the Tirshatha general. It's the Medo-Persian word for general. The word proenates that I signed with proenates. That's the word for the general that's in charge of the coming siege of a fortress or a city or a nation that's going to be besieged. And we are going to be besieged, people. I'm telling you that. And so that word Tirshatha is the same idea as proenates and imperium. The Romans had the same idea. Their word is imperium, the person in complete and absolute control. Now, am I claiming I'm in control? No, I have no control. I don't have control over my own family. I have control over nothing. I'm a nobody who's been nowhere and done nothing. I freely admit it. I'm just praying that God will do something with a nobody. Moses spent 40 years, his first 40 years of his life, thinking he was somebody, because he was raised in Pharaoh's court, right? His mom shipped him down the river so she didn't have to kill him, and the Pharaoh's daughter pulled him out of the water. Moses means drawn out of the waters. And his sister, Miriam, saw that happen, and so she went to the woman and said, my mom can nurse him. So Moses' own mother was able to nurse him. And I've been wondering, I'm trying to say this without being stupid, but I've wondered, this week has been struck me that would my own mother have said, you better use your brain and not your body because your body's not worth anything? Or would my mother have said, when they were passing out brains, you thought they said trains and told them to pass you by. You didn't want to get on. You didn't need any. Whenever I did something halfway intelligent, they go, oh, it's going to snow today. Shocked. Jerry did something intelligent. Anyway, my mother died because of my birth. My wife figured out what happened. She hemorrhaged somehow, bled out, and died. She was so weak that she told my aunt, she said, I can't name him. You name him. That's why I'm named. Sorry, I'm not choking up on it. I needed some water. My aunt told me that. She said my mother was so weak she couldn't even talk, and she said, you name him. She whispered, you name him. So she named me Jerry, which was like Ireland is very big on Jerry's because it's Jeremiah the prophet. Now, a name means a lot. And if somebody comes here, brother that's here right now, Timothy. His name is Timothy. It's not Tim. It's Timothy. And I showed him yesterday. We were at a thrift store, and I pulled the Bible out, and I said, "Look at when you want to know whether the text that translation you're looking at is based on, whether it's the Byzantine manuscripts, the good manuscripts like the King James version is based on, or all the modernized, corrupted versions, texts, fragments of text. You go to 1 Timothy 3:16 because the 1 Timothy 3:16 says, "He," some versions say he or who, was manifested in the flesh. Great is the mystery of godliness. God was manifested in the flesh. And the King James is the only version that says that. Everything else says other words. He or who or it or she, whatever, was manifested in the flesh. No, it's God. So Timothy means Tim of God, Timothea. Theos is God, and that's the word in the Greek there, theos. So I thought it was pretty cool for me to be able to show him that. That's the first verse I go to when I'm questioning a translation, especially if it's a new one. Sorry, my feet are getting chilly, or my throat is getting scratchy. So that's a little bit of backstory, and all that. Just this saga is coming around. I'm telling you, people, things are happening. We're getting a lot done. Every day we're just going from one project to the next, splitting firewood, trying to figure out where to put a tent up. Get down there. Okay, maybe I got it that time. And and I really apologize if I've offended somebody. I said that before, but I'm going to say it again. There's some people that have followed me before, and they're not on, haven't been on for days or weeks, and thinking I must have said something that upset them or offended them and hurt them, and I'm sorry. Again, I'll just say that again. So, and it goes to the things with my family too. My son got injured the other day at work, and his. I don't even want to go into it. Really, just pray for me on that. My children, listen to the song "In the Living Years" by Mike and the Mechanics. And while you're at it, listen to "Silent Running." That's like my song. It was my song, years ago. Believe in me, I'm with the high command, type thing. Felt that's one of the songs that, man, I'll tell you what, that came out about the same time. I bet you wouldn't be surprised that came out about 1980. I gotta look that one up too. All these things are dating back to the beginning. Months ago, I said, what I felt like it was from the movie Princess Bride, where Inigo Montoya says, Vizzini said if we get separated, to go back to the beginning. This is the beginning, and this is where I'm not leaving, till I see Vizzini. So I felt it very strongly in my heart, go back to the beginning. Well, what's the beginning? The year I got saved, okay, that's true. 1973, the year I got married, 77, the year I had the teepee and the cylinder stove, which ended up in us being the biggest distributor in the country. We actually became national distributor for cylinder stoves that year. I want to get an oven. I sold only one I had. I sold it, so I'm hoping to get another one someday. So, oh, come on now. Two-handed throw. I need a two-handed throw is what I need. So, I'm hoping to get the oven. But anyway, that year, about 1980, was a very significant year. It's the year that I had the sight, the vision of the white tents in the distance across a field or pasture against a backdrop of trees. No nothing moving, nothing, just no kids, no dogs, no ducks, no geese, no nothing, no dogs, no people, no smoke, just tents, different shapes and sizes, white tents. And I knew it was like forcefully spoke into my spirit. Those are refugees, and if you don't help them, they're going to die. So I've been a lifelong. I don't. It doesn't take much. Some people have. I think some people have too much wine and pizza or something. And they have all these weird dreams that I'd never have had. I'd be in a nut house. There's a friend of mine, Lori, that if I had the dream she's had, she's got a notebook of all these crazy dreams she's had. And If I had those dreams, I'd be in an insane asylum. I think it would just break me. It would break my mind. I would have, you know, pulled the trigger or something, done something drastic to myself or somebody else. I don't know, because it's just horrific dreams. I mean, just, you know, blood curdling, you know, sheet soaking sweat, sweat sheet soaking, soak sweat sheeting, whatever you know what I'm saying. You wake up and your shits are soaking wet because you sweated so much. You're under so much stress in the dream. I've had 2 or 3 friends like that, and Lori's one of them. I'd be in a nut house if I had her dreams. I had a picture of tents in the distance, and from that time to this, I've been working to help those people. 2000, fast forward to 2000, I had the vision. My eyes were open, I was sitting up in bed on one elbow, and I see a young. I was in there. I was there. I was real. I believe I will see it someday. But young couple coming through the woods toward me, and there's a house, underground home. We need to build underground, people. We got to go underground for fire, for tornado, hurricane. You heat and cold. You don't have to heat it in the summer. Don't have to cool it in the summer. Don't have to heat it in the winter. There's young men there in China, the young kids. The 8-year-old boy was helping me clean the trailer out. My son's cattle trailer, cleaning the manure out, shovel after shovel after shovel of manure. And he started talking along, and I'm like, wait a minute, here, you could not have read my book. No way. And he was quoting to me from my own book that I wrote 20 years ago. Blew me away. We need to build underground homes, because that way we won't have to heat them in the summer, heat them in the winter, and cool them in the summer. Like, oh my gosh, he read that from my book. You know, the Holy Spirit just gave him that. I said, how could you say that? I said, you haven't read my book? He goes, oh, I've been thinking about this for a long time. 8-year-old kid. I've been thinking about it. I've been planning on this for a long time. So that tells me another kids have the same thing. They're 2 little brothers of PJ, a friend of mine. They're always out building underground houses. So in their little kid mind, but little kid forts, but underground all the time. And so younger generation understands this. Old men shall have dreams, and young men shall see visions. The old man, I have the dream, the vision, and the young man's the ones that got to make it happen. They got to have the vision to make it happen. I can have a dream, I can have a vision, but it's got to be some pedal to the metal, some Christianity and shoe leather, as Dave Vernon McGee used to say. That's Christianity and shoe leather, So we need people to make it happen. Well, I need a Nehemiah, and I'm believing really that Timothy is my Nehemiah. Praying, so pray for him, pray for me. We've been getting along really famously, and he's also, it's like I'm mentoring him, he's mentoring me. I'm mentoring him in my vision. He's mentoring me on food and trying to keep me healthy, trying to keep me alive. That's his job. He's my aide de camp, my cook, my chief medical officer. He can downgrade me, put me out of service if he needs to. So phenomenal relationship so far, and I think it's going to continue. I want him to be here near me and stay with me, and if I go somewhere else, there's a very good possibility I may go toward Ava, Bolivar, go toward Ava, toward Fairgrove. I've talked about that before. If I do that, I want him to be with me. We'll take a trailer with us. 2 trailers, 3 trailers, whatever it takes. So that's the idea. That's where we're at. We're probably going to set up a tent tomorrow or next day. Get ready for rock again. We've been just busting butt trying to get things sorted away and space made, and make it a soft landing place for him. He's coming in, chomping at the bit to be, start planting. So we last several days, about the last week, Bill took his tractor out and tilled up a garden. Well, I turned up a bunch of big rocks. My son had a skid loader over here, so we were able to use the skid loader to get rocks out. One rock I picked up, I kid you not, this was on the drive. He wanted the driveway leveled out too, and I was working on that. He was, signaling, doing this, and I was running the skid loader. I knocked out, or he said, that rock's awful big, and he goes, yeah, get it out. So I did. Walked it out with the loader. Come to find out, it was about 4 to 5 feet wide and 6 to 8 feet long. It filled the bucket. I was pushing it like a dozer, and then it just I shot my rock a little bit, and I scooped it, and I picked it up. I was able to pick the whole darn thing up and put it between 2 trees. Biggest rock I've ever seen. Handled, moved around. I pulled out a really big one out of the garden the other day, and I put it over by the our picnic area, just because it's decorative. Somebody can sit on it. They can put things on it. So it was a pretty flat one. But this one was just monstrous. It's huge. So we've been making garden area. Rock's like, I want to be able to garden, and I'm gonna start planting right away. And I'm like, well, dude, we're getting Rock's garden. We're getting rocks out of Rock's garden. I told one guy, and he goes, what? And I said, we're getting rocks out of Rock's garden. So Sherry's been planting in it. And Bill will, Shirley will. But the thing is, Shirley and Bill are getting older, and we need younger people. Well, I'm bringing them in. The Lord's bringing them here, gardeners. Sherry's a gardener. Rock's a gardener. Timothy gardened for the first time this year. And Rock and Timothy are both into organic food, so they can grow all the organic stuff they can grow here. Yeah, that's a good idea, because we need to grow our own food. If we're not growing our own food, we're going to be in deep shit, people. Going to be in deep kamich, deep doo-doo. If you don't have that in your mindset that you can grow your own food. I don't care if you're sprouting, doing microgreens, doing mushrooms, something, but you got to grow your own food. If you don't eat, food does not come from. I was on an alt market, yeah, and this guy destroyed the group. He was an absolute troll from hell. He was a horrible person. He insulted women. He berated women. He drove women away. The woman that helped found the thing, Laura M. I-M-M, Laura M. Hello, Laura. I hope you hear this someday. What a sweetheart, She's the one that helped do the beta testing and help run the whole thing to get it up and running. And thanks for that, Brandon Smith did nothing to protect her or any other woman on there. This guy insulted women, berated him, just castigated him, just mocked him. Just a misogynist from hell, Just a horrible, nasty person. And he was attacking me all the time, too. But one of the things I was in a conference, he said, come on out here to Middle Kansas, where I am. I said, there's no water there. I said, the Ogallala Aquifer is going dry, and the only aquifers in Kansas is saline, saltwater aquifers. He goes, I'm not a farmer, I don't need water. And I'm like, oh my gosh. This guy's telling people come out here. I'm in the middle of Kansas. It's a great place. Let me tell you, people, water does not come from a spigot, and it does not come from a tap in the sink in the kitchen or the bathroom or the shower. Water comes from the ground. If you don't have a way to get water from the ground, you don't have water. You cannot stay alive. If you don't have a well of your own, you're not going to stay alive. If you don't have a spring on your property, you can't live. Now, you can live with a spring, because that's even better water than well water. Aquifer water is pretty clean around here, but some better than others, because you go deeper, you get better water. They call it sugar water, pristine sand water, white sand water. White sand filters even better than anything else, so it's very clean. My son-in-law drilled a well on their property. It was white. They hit white sand at about 600 feet. So they had a really good, clean well head. The first time they drilled, they'd lost about 80 feet of steel pipe. It fell down in a cave below the property. So we know there's a cave below our property over there. That's pretty cool. And the terrain and all is good for it, too. So, anyway, just saying all that to just kind of give you a sit-rep idea of the place, what's going on. I'm still getting things. I need some things really badly. My back is hurting really bad. I need a roller for my back. And if anybody would like to, if you care about me at all, shoot me a few PayPal ferns, Federal Reserve notes or something, some way to get me a few bucks to help out, because I've been keep buying stuff, and then I getting a little bit overextended, but I need it. Timothy told me about rolling down a roller on your back. Well, it's the same idea as Deb, one of the people I met on Alt Market, where I was just talking about Guy the Troll there, that ruined the whole place. She found me on Alt Market, moved here from Michigan, same city that Bill and Shirley were from, Lansing, Michigan. Hit it off famously, but she brought a rolling ceramic far infrared bed with her, and I'd love to use it, but she's got junk on it, and she doesn't seem to be in any hurry to clean it off, because she doesn't really like me, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't care. Anyway, I just would like to get a roller so I can. What we do is I lay on it, and then Tim pulls my hands down and then back up. So he just pulls me, so I'm on the roller, and it's really awesome. It really helped the first day. It moved the pain from my right side hip. My right hip completely gone now, but now it's instead of a dull ache, like that real deep dull ache that makes you want to feel like you're going to throw up, instead of being that on my right side, now it's like a sharp, excruciating, just agonizing pain on my left side. So something shifted, but it didn't shift to the center. It shifted off center. So I need some help on that. And he can do a massage. He's got a massage table, so may do that. Rig up a place to do that. So anyway, that's kind of a situation. Just I really appreciate your prayers. I mean, just cover your prayers, beg for your prayers. A lot of emotional stuff going on, and with him too, with Timothy. He's had a very rough life. His father died when he was 8 months old. Motorcycle accident from being stupid. And his grandpa raised him. His grandfather was a very hard guy. And he already had like 13 grandkids that they were kind of looking after. He was like the 13th or 14th grandchild. So he didn't learn a whole lot from him, but he learned some things from him just from by observation and stuff. Anyway, he had 2 other mentors in his life, and I'm like the 3rd one, whatever, 4th one. His grandfather, a guy named Tom, a guy named Chris. So I said, well, this goes both ways. I said, you're my mentor as well. I'm not just playing mentor. I'm not playing boss. So we're kind of joking about it, Nezramiah. Ezra, Nehemiah, Ezramiah, Nezramiah, or Ezra, Ezra, something like that. So anyway, kind of a combination, because we're both very similar in a lot of ways and totally opposites other ways, so yeah. I've known for you, when I saw that I was almost completely strategic thinking, I realized, okay, the strategy is the big picture. It's the ideas, the concepts of, floating the breeze. He's too spiritually minded. He's so He's so heavenly minded. He's no earthly good. The sail up in the clouds, kite in the clouds. Well, I realized, okay, a sailboat needs 2 things. It needs a sail to go somewhere. It needs ballast, because if you have ballast, the weight in the hull, you're not going to capsize. But if you have only a sail, the first wind's going to come over because it's going to slap it, and you're going to go to the bottom because you're going to sink. Whereas if you have ballast but no sail, you're going to float, and you can be driven about with every wind of doctrine, every wind, just you can drift somewhere, but you're not going to sink. So ballast is very, very important, and I've realized that. I've realized my lack of that for many years. So when I said I'm weird, he said I'm different, I'm not normal. He said, no problem. If you were normal, you wouldn't be talking to me. So that was really cool. And I told him, I said, we had a law in my family, a literal law, a rule in my family. If you're not weird, you can't be our friend. If you're weird, okay, we'll talk. But if you're not weird, don't even bother talking to us. We don't want to know you. We don't need to know you. So anyway, that's about it. I think I'll see if anybody's on it. Everybody gives a hoot about what I'm doing or caring, or it'd be nice if somebody did show some gratitude. Timothy has some super wise sayings. I've always wondered why people around here, they pretend I don't exist. They look, they look at me and just look right through me. They don't acknowledge my presence. They don't address me. They don't talk to me. They don't listen to me for sure. And Timothy made a very powerful statement. Listen to this. People that don't have truth in their lives, that are not speaking truth, cannot hear truth. If you're not hearing truth, you can't. If you're not speaking truth, if your life is not based on truth, you can't have truth in your life. You can't take in truth. If you're not putting out truth, speaking truth, you can't hear truth. That is one of the most wisest and most powerful sayings I've heard in a long time. And I've never heard it before from anybody else put like that. Next morning I woke up and I was like, oh man, that was so awesome. I can't remember how did he word that? How did he word that? So I rephrased it. However he said it, I made it simpler so I could remember it. If you don't have truth in your life, you can't hear truth. If you're not speaking truth, you can't hear truth. If your life is not based on truth, you can't absorb truth. If you're not giving out truth, you can't take in truth. So, however you want to phrase that, write it down. That is so true. That explains why he said, I've been doing the same thing for years. He said, it's very irritating, I know. It's very frustrating, I know. He said, I've been there. He said, people pretend you don't exist. They look at you. They look past you. They don't hear anything you say. They don't listen to it. They can you can say it right to their face, but they don't acknowledge it. They don't hear it because they didn't listen. That's why I say listen and hear. People hear and listen. And when I'm talking to a guy, I say, look, shut up. Look at me. Don't think. Don't talk. Stop thinking so you can hear what I'm saying. This is important. I mean, I'll literally do that. I'll say, shut up. Listen to me. Like with Rock, when he gets here, it's going to have to be, that's how it's going to have to be. I'm going to say, look, Rock, look at me. Listen to me, okay? Don't talk. Don't think. Because his mind is always processing. Timothy's very much a similar way, but he can actually, Timothy, I mean, I've never met anybody like this in my life. Remembers everything I say, processes it, and does research on it. He's listened to every video, watched every video, listened to every song that I mentioned. Just absolutely phenomenal. And running, the Silent Running song by Mike the Mechanics is like his song. It's like I was just playing that. He found a speaker set of mine that I bought somewhere off eBay. Where did I get it? Bought it on eBay. And he plugged that. He said the first song he was playing on it. That was so cool to hear that. I mean, that's providential. That's just like, you can't make this stuff up, people. That song was my mantra, my go-to song. For years, it was just spoke decibels to my heart. You know. Can't remember the lyrics right now off the top of my head. It's been a long time. Anyway, all right. So it's been phenomenal. It's been good. But yeah, I'd really appreciate some. One of his other things is, I said I appreciate Bill, and every month I'd try to get him something, do something to preserve his health, make the place run better, buy something for him for the tractor or the golf cart or whatever. I do something for him every month. He says, well, you can appreciate someone, and you can show gratitude by doing things for them and giving them something. Well, that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing for 7 years now. I've been here basically. He's been helping me stay alive, and I appreciate that, and I always will be indebted to him for that. No matter what happens, no matter if I go somewhere else or whatever, I'll still always remember that. It'll always have a special place in my heart for trying to keep me going. Through some really hard times. So I'm gonna check this. There's only 3 people on. I got bored. Sorry about that. Ray, the wrench means I've said this before, and I think I told you this, but I think you were already gotten off that night, but the wrench means you're a moderator, so if someone comes on and they say something stupid or evil or nasty, you can hide it. I don't know, whatever you do, let me say what I tell you. Come on. You can hide some messages such as potential spam may not be visible. Okay. When you click on that message, you can remove it. Let me click on yours. I won't remove it, but I don't know why it's not doing it. Come on. No idea. Live chat. Okay, Gaddy, I can explain it to you. Yeah. You're a moderator. You can moderate people. Hello, Deborah Perry from Arkansas. Hello from Arkansas. Yeah. I just pulled up and I didn't read it. There's one that says remove. Report. Go to channel. Remove. You can put user in timeout. You can remove it. I like to go to their channel and see what they're doing, because if they have no videos, they have no followers, they have no subscribers, they have no channels that they follow, they have no playlists. They are an empty, suck, puppet, troll account. They're a troll, pure and simple. And 99% of the time they are. They just made a really nasty, stupid comment, or a pornography comment or something like that. They're just a troll. And they do not deserve to be recognized even. I just ignore them. Sometimes I engage them a little bit just to teach other people how to handle it, but Basically, trolls don't need to get fed. They feed on negative energy. They say something nasty, and you argue with them. They argue back. They come back, forth, back and forth. That is nothing but a negative energy sapping you from your mission. Just ignore them. Don't feed them. They'll starve to death. They'll go away. They'll get bored. They'll go do something else. They'll go play under somebody else's bridge. I just tell them that. I say, look, you're a troll. Go troll under somebody else's bridge. You're done here, and I'll block them. They can't post anymore. 90% of the time, I'll go to their channel. If it's empty, if they are indeed an empty sock puppet troll account, I will block them from ever posting again. Just remove them. I'll remove their comment if it was nasty or too negative. I don't mind criticism. I mean, I'm not perfect. I like criticism. I love positive criticism, constructive criticism. You call it. That's fine. I don't care. Ah, come on. So touchy. I'll tell you, this thing is. Okay. This is Zeppelin Kaboom. Says, my house is filled with this crap. Shows up in bubble wrap most every day. What I bought on eBay. Tell me why I need another pet rock. Oh, you're quoting Weird Al. Yeah, my favorite. yeah. To this day, my wife or somebody will say, where'd you get that? And I said, I bought it on eBay. Tell me why. Yeah, bubble wrap. Sing it for us. Tell me why I need another pet rock. Tell me why I got that Alpha alarm clock. Tell me why I bet on Shatner's something, yeah. William Shatner's toilet or something. We don't know farmers. We got us a grocery store. Yeah, that's what we think. That's what people think. But that guy in Kansas, he said, come to Kansas. And I said, there's not going to be any water there. The aquifer's going dry, and most of I kid you not, you look at southeastern Kansas, okay? Southeastern Kansas is in the Ozark Plateau. It's not a plateau, it's flat and all that, but it's part of what's considered the Ozark Plateau. It's part of the footprint. It's diamond. The western point of the diamond goes into Kansas, okay? Of the diamond that is the Ozark Plateau. Look at the aquifer. The aquifer is under that entire region, including western Kansas. In western Kansas, one time, they put a moratorium on drilling wells. They said, okay, nobody can drill wells. No permits are going to be given. Nobody drills wells for 2 years or whatever. Because we got to do a survey to see what the water table's like. When they got done, their consensus was this. Their rule was, drill as many wells as you want. We'll never be able to use up all this water. That's how heavy the aquifer in Kansas is there in southeast Kansas. Now, I got a friend that drove from southeast Kansas to St. Louis to buy a Troy-built well driller. He said, I can drill 20, 35 wells on my property. He had a 17-acre farm. He had a garbage pump that was pulling water out of a river, which wasn't really cool, but, it was hard. Gas-powered and everything, but I can drill well every 30 feet if I want. So there's plenty of water, they can use it. So anyway, that's all backstory and all that good stuff, but wells, property, that was Bunny Trail, wasn't it? Dawn, there was bunny trails. I'll tell you what. Now, if Timothy was on, he'd tell me exactly. He would say exactly where I went off the trail, the main trail, and got lost. So, give me a minute. I'll think of it. Aquifers. Kansas, the idiot in Kansas guy, the guy on Alt Market. So he says. I said, well, you need to have water to grow food. You need to grow food, be able to grow groceries. He says, I'm not a farmer. I don't need water. And I'm like, okay. This man actually thinks, supposedly a very intelligent person. He'd criticize women for being stupid. Every woman on there, he'd criticize her for being stupid or ignorant or dumb or whatever. This man actually thinks that water comes from a spigot, from a tap in the kitchen or the faucet or the laundry room or the washing machine or whatever, laundry sink. Water does not come from a hose. It does not come from the garden hose. It does not come from the fire hydrant. It comes from the sky. It comes from rivers. It comes from lakes. Do you realize that if you live in Kansas City, you are drinking water that has been flushed down people's toilets 3 times, at least? Topeka, Lawrence, and another city in there, Manhattan. Same river, same water, flushed. Go down the river, flush it again, poop in it, flush it again, dump drugs in it, flush it again, dump garbage in it, dead bodies, rats, sawdust, flush it again. ends up in Kansas City. It's been flushed 3 or 4 times, and everybody knows it. That's why you see those big water treatment plants. Or what are they using to clean the water with? They're using chlorine to kill you with, and fluoride, adding fluoride to kill you with. The better to kill you with, my dear. Yeah. So anyway, that's just here and there at this point. But the point is that we need clean water to drink, and we need clean water to grow crops with, and we need to grow our own food. I'm going to elaborate a little bit more. Water does not come from a spigot. It does not come from a garden hose. It does not come from a fire hydrant. Water comes from the ground. It comes from the air. It comes from. You can actually get water out of the air in Missouri, a lot of it. Wind cells and things, it's a different thing. But anyway, aquifers, lakes, ponds, streams, river systems in Missouri is huge. Massive amounts of rivers in Missouri. A lot of them from springs so deep and water so cold that the drought does not affect them. Doesn't matter how hard it rains, no matter how drought it gets, how dry it gets, for how long, the springs still run. That's because they don't come from the rain. They don't come from... Springs are not coming from rain, people. Get that. There is one that is affected by rainfall. Only one. Round Spring, I think, goes from 1 million gallons. If it rains heavy, they got 1.5 to 2 million gallons a day, a minute, or something like that. I don't know. An hour. I believe that the springs come from outside the firmament. That's why it's so freaking cold. Go to Antarctica. How cold is the water in Antarctica? Damn cold. So yeah, that's why the water's so cold, because it comes from it's God's natural pure water purification system. You want clean primary water is water that's been untouched, unpolluted, completely pristine, structured. That's what water is coming from springs. A lot of it's very highly structured water, hexagonal water. Do some research on it. Yeah, I believe that's why it's structured. That's why it's so cold. Is because it's coming from outside the firmament. Not if I believe it. I don't care if you believe it or not. That's my personal belief, and it explains a lot. Okay, so anyway, that's about it. I'm gonna call it good here, pretty quick, Garn. So good night. Say your good nights. Nobody wants to listen to me anyway, so who cares? Yeah. Polar water's so cold it got stiff. Yeah. Actually, I on eBay I ordered on Amazon I ordered Icelandic water, and I had a gallon. I hit the wrong button. I had a full gallon of water sitting on the counter, and it froze solid. I went to pick it up and pour it into my pitcher to filter it. Couldn't do it. It was solid water. Icelandic water on the floor should have been like 30 degrees colder on the floor. It didn't have an ice crystal in it. Nothing. Not a bit of ice in it. Blew me away. I'm like, dang, that stuff's so cold. That stuff's been so cold. It don't think it's cold here at 20 below. Or it was about, let's say, 10 degrees, something like that. It wasn't below zero, but it was really cold. It was way below freezing, about 20 degrees below freezing. About 8 to 10 degrees that day. Icelandic were like, this ain't cold. We don't have to freeze. No, we're good. We're structured water. I think because it was primary water, structured water, it was moving. It was alive. You can't freeze water that's alive. I think that's why it didn't freeze. So I'll try to get some more of that someday. I liked it. Cool little bottles. They look like a ice cube, a melting ice cube. They had little shoulders on them and everything. Truth Faction, hello there. How you doing, Vince? Love you, brother. Oh my gosh, if you ever hear the story, I've talked to James by now, but if you ever hear the story, just remember, Vince, there's 3 sides to every story: yours, mine, and the truth. So there's Rock's story, James' story, and God's story, the truth. So I'm not saying anybody's lying, but people misunderstand each other and stuff, and I think a lot of that happens. So I'm not going to worry about it. Mineral content in it, yeah. Glacial water is very awesome. They say in the Himalayas they drink water from out of the glaciers. They call it ice milk. It's so full of minerals it looks milky. This stuff was crystal clear. There's no minerals that I could see, but say what, I was really amazed and pretty impressed that it did not freeze. I mean, can you imagine a full gallon frozen in a little pint bottle? Not an ice crystal in it. Nothing. Just totally clear, totally pristine. Very neat. I wish I could run that temperature. Oh, I'll get another taste and put it in the freezer and see if it freezes. Yeah, that'd tell it. Icelandic water. No, this ain't cold. We come from Iceland, baby. We no freeze. We don't have to freeze. Yeah, pretty cool. All right. Well, good night, everybody. Good night, Vince. Good night, Gaddy Anton. Good night, Sean. If you're here, I'm not sure if I saw you. Zept and Kaboom. Tell me why I need another pet rock. Tell me why I got that Alpha alarm clock. Tell me why I've been on Shatner's. Whatever. I remember that one. We don't need no stinking farmers. We got the grocery store. Yeah, that's a good line. Very sad, but that's what people do. Now listen to me. Since you brought that up, they made that crack, that comment, that joke. We got that's the grocery store. In my poem, I say that cut your losses, burn your bridges. You better do it now. We need to build a new component. Move your family. We need time to be trusted. Learn the ropes. We need to grow a garden if we're to learn our hopes, live our hopes. We need to grow a garden if we're to live our hopes. From Joseph, from our store we'll have to draw, and that is meat within the meat upon the hoof and crops within the ground. The best form of food preservation isn't stuff you buy, you pay money for. We did that one time. Spent like $3,000, put it on a credit card, and ended up going belly up on the credit card, and just stupid deal. Never used it, never tried it, never rotated it, didn't use it. You gotta. If you're gonna buy storage food, use it. You figure out how. In fact, your years worth of food you're gonna eat up in about 4 months, 3 months max, 4 months max. You're gonna eat it up. It's gonna be gone. You're gonna be hungry. You're gonna snack. Somebody's gonna steal some. It's gonna be gone. You're not gonna. A year's worth of food is not a year's worth of food. Don't believe it. But better than a year's worth of food is crops in the ground, meat on the hoof and crops on the ground. Grow some goats. Have sheep. Have lambs. Have chickens. Have ducks. Have whatever the heck you want to eat. Grow it yourself. You cannot trust buying stuff from the store anyway. At this point in time, I wouldn't trust any fast food restaurant if they're not putting in human flesh. Walmart. I had a fancy custom steak one time, 3 steaks, 4 maybe, I don't know, and they smelled so awesome. They had rub on them, and they smelled divine. And I bought them. I cooked one for me and one for Bill. Started eating them, and I'm like, this reminds me of heart meat. It was supposed to be like filet mignon or sirloin or something. It was not what it said it was. It was red looking, weird looking, spongy looking meat. It looked like meat from a deer heart or an elk heart. And I'm thinking, I wonder what the hell are they giving me here? Probably people heart. I don't trust Walmart for nothing. I don't trust any fast food. Certainly not McDonald's. I think they, aborted baby fetus is where it ends up in their food. So, anyway, be careful. Grow your own food. Make it a note in your head. You got to grow your own food. You can grow it indoors. You can do it wherever you want. On your back porch, your front porch, patio, whatever. Shatner's old toupee. Thank you. Tell me why I need Shatner's old toupee. Okay, guy. Night, y'all. Good night. I did it again. I hit the wrong little button there. All right, well, good night. Thank you. Appreciate it all. I'll put my email down there, but dmnds2001@yahoo.com. Delta Mike November Delta Sierra 2001@yahoo.com. That is my PayPal address. Somebody can slip me a few shekels. It would be nice. Just encourage me. $10, $5, whatever. I don't care. I don't really need it. I don't care. Honestly, I'm not really asking. I just one of those points I'm a little bit bummed out, about stuff with my family and other things, situation not going good, but overall Timothy and I are trying to make a place for Rock, and then a place for Dave, who's in there, go get little Jacqueline from Meth Mountain in Missouri. She's in the Ozark Plateau. It's just she's in a bad, ex-military guy said it's the most evil place in the entire world he's ever been to, and he's been around the world 3 times, including Washington, D.C., he said. Meth Mountain over there by Farmington and Festus and Valley Mines is an evil, satanic place. Very, very bad, very evil, very nasty. Everybody's bad there. Cops, everybody. So very sucky thing. All right, good night. Bye. Hallelujah. Soylent Green is people. Yep, you got it. Charlton Heston. Oh, yeah. Soylent Green is. Put him in a straitjacket, take him away. Yeah. Good point. You can put that Soylent Brown, Soylent Yellow, and Soylent Pink, but they don't have Soylent Green for some reason. Little bottle. Look for it. Soylent. It's Soylent. They don't have green, but they got pink and green and stuff and yellow. But okay, good night.